enough for me. Never meant to be a winner, never meant to be a quitter, but this is how I lose satisfaction.
Hello and welcome to a beard and bike session on Limitless Levels Media. I know I've not posted very many videos for the progression of my bike, for the alterations and modifications that I have made. So I'm going to start off by going through some of the things that I have done with it since I got it. So first of all was the fuel tank. Obviously I had the original peanut tank on it, which we all know doesn't really get you far. So I obtained a 3.3 gallon tank, which I fit last year. Not had any problems with it. I am considering doing getting a paint job done on it. That will be sometime in the not too distant future. When I initially got the bike, with it being a 2014 model, it has spokes on it. Initially, the chrome spokes, the chrome was coming off on them and beginning to rust. It started to look quite a mess, and there was physically nothing I could do with it. So I removed the wheels, bearings, and I sent them down to a place in Birmingham, Central Wheel Components, who relaced the wheels for me. I shall show you exactly how they look now. I went for matte black spokes with the chrome nuts that go into the actual wheel rim. But I also got the central wheel hub powder coated gloss black to match the outer rim. So I got both front and back wheels done, got them reassembled, and that's pretty much everything with them. Grilled front lights, the actual lights themselves, the indicator lights, I've put smoke lenses on. I've got a little bit of a shielded rim that goes around it now. And then I've done the bars. So I ordered these bars from Motia. They are 10-inch mini apes with a 2-inch rising block on it as well. The company I went to, ARH Customs, said they had a 12-inch in stock. Thus why I ended up getting the additional 2-inch risers. I have fed the cables through the bars for the electrics, which literally run out under the Speedo. Not a bad job. Soldered all the joints so they are solid. I've not had any problems since with that. I ordered this bracket off the internet. Let's see if I can get a better look of it. So there's the bracket. The lights, the LED lights for the registration plate, which also acts as a bolt, I have wired them up myself. So they literally are hardwired, soldered through. They're running down the side of the actual bike. The rear shocks. I did have on the original shocks on it. They were chrome again. I'm not a massive chrome fan, so slowly but surely I'm eliminating bits on the bike. So again, I ordered these shocks from Motia along with a crash bar. I'll get to the crash bar in a minute. They're not a mainline brand, but the quality of them is really good. I can't fault them in the slightest. They are pretty much the same as my chrome ones, they're just slightly shorter, which is giving it a bit of a stiffer ride when I go over the potholes, but it still handles really well, so I'm liking that a lot. As for the crash bar, orders from Motia. I can't go wrong with the products that I've ordered with Motia so far. They are the only sort of things I will go to them for. So yeah, crash bars on there. What I have also done is I have taken off the energy, I'm sure it's called energy regulator. I'll have a look into that shortly. Took that off the other day. I've given it a spray up because they do become quite bad over time with the paint flaking off and just leaving the silver underneath it. So that's off and been resprayed. We've got the chin fairing, which I fit on some time ago. It does have a crack in it now, and I will be replacing that. Whether I go for a different style or not, I don't know. I do like the look of them on the bike. I do feel it gives it, I don't know, a bit more of a beefy look. it sort of fills in some of them gaps where I feel something's missing. I originally went for the Hurricane Riot handle grips. Really like the look of them. Really tough decision on what grips I wanted. I didn't just want to go for some slide over rubber ones. I physically wanted some new grips. And then I found that I wanted to go away from foot pegs and maybe looking at like a miniature footboard. So Hurricane do the Riot miniature footboards. Finally, I think the last mod that I've done on the bike is the air filter. So I've gone for the Arlen Ness Velocity. So here it is there. Replacing the old original air filter on the bike. This thing is amazing. You can physically hear the air being sucked into this thing. I do have the Vance & Hines Fuel Pack FP3 on the bike, and I have done auto tunes to get it running as sweet as it possibly can. And that is pretty much it. Just the odd other little things here and there. So where are we going from here? Okay. I've already started doing the work that I'm planning on doing on the bike now. So I've removed the seat and I'm going to do the wire tuck. Now, if you want a full video of doing a wire tuck on a Harley Sportster, you can head over to Alkimoto's channel here on YouTube. He's done a full video. It's where I'm getting all my information from. He's done it on one of our guys from the Sportster Sickness bike, and I've got to say, brilliant video, very informative, gives you all the information that you possibly need. So I've currently taken the seat off the bike to gain access to the electronics, and I've done the part of lifting the tank and removing the plastic covers going down this side and the other side, which are all held on by cable ties. So I've got all the wires released in here underneath, ready to go. I'm going to pull the fuse on the bike so we don't have any electrical issues. If for those of you that don't know, if you're going to pull the main fuse, always make sure you turn your ignition on before you do it. And then all you're going to do is pull the cap off here and pull the main fuse inside. Once you've done that, you shouldn't have any issues. Now, one of the other things I'm going to point out on this video is you might notice that my battery is the wrong way around. Shortly after getting this bike a couple of years ago, I had battery issues from the off, where it just wouldn't start the bike. It looked like it was the original battery that's always been on the bike, and unfortunately I wasn't keeping it on a battery tender. So in a mad emergency, I ended up having to nip out to Halfords one Sunday morning and pick up a battery, which unfortunately the live and neutral terminals are the wrong way around. It's not a major issue at this moment in time. I've just fit the battery the other way around and managed to get the wires to connect onto it. But at some point in the not too distant future again, I will be getting a new battery with the terminals the right way around, so it sits in there a lot better. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to crack on with the wire tuck. But one of the other main things that we are planning on doing today is make a little bit of a modification to my phone holder. Now, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to have their phone mounted on the handlebars. I do like the fact of being out there riding free and not having any distractions and so on, but I like to listen to my music, and it's each and everybody's preference. So it's great to have my phone on the dash so I can skip tracks and look at the sat nav and things like that. So I've gone with one of the ones that took my fancy the most, which is quad lock. So initially with quad lock, I got the handlebar mounting bracket, the adjustable arm. I do have the extendable piece that goes between the arm and the actual main attachment, and I've also got the anti-vibration bracket. Now, I would highly recommend anybody who decides to go for quad lock to get the anti-vibration bracket. The reason being is, if you are using a cell phone, for you Americans, if you're using a mobile phone especially the iPhones and the newer models, they have reported that the vibrations from a bike, even more so a Harley, can damage the actual camera lenses inside the phone. So a good way to alleviate that is with the anti-vibration bracket. What I will be doing is I'll put a link in the bio below for the products, and here is the company, Quadlock UK. But yeah, we're making a bit of a modification to this now, because what I've found is when I've been going out for the long rides during the day, even though I do have a little USB socket further down on the bike, I find that when it's getting towards the end of the day, the battery life on my phone does end up dying. So I've made a purchase, and it is with two items. I've gone for the waterproof wireless charger and the waterproof 12 volts USB smart adapter. Okay, so here we have the products in question. I'm going to do a quick unboxing, as I've not seen these myself yet. So I'm going to take a quick look at the accessory waterproof 12 volts USB smart adapter. So it's auto switching mode, provides power only when the engine is running to avoid battery drain, which is really good. Okay, so let's get this box open. Okay, so we've got the instruction manual here. Basically gives you all the information that you need within regards to connecting it up to the bike. So there's the adapter. Let's get this box open. Oops. Always end up ripping the boxes, no matter how gentle I am sometimes. Okay, let's get this off here. Okay, so there we have it. There's a quad lock adapter. You've got a switch on there for either fully on or auto mode. At this moment in time, just going off the top of my head, I'm assuming auto mode is what it states within regards to switching when the engine's not running to save you battery power. Okay, you've got the USB connection, which provides the outlet power, and we've got the standard leads in order to connect up to the battery. Okay, what have we got? We've got a little rubber cover for going over the USB connection, keep that nice waterproof connection, stop any electrical faults, and we've got some cable ties to get it out of the way. Okay, let's move on to the actual wireless charger and mount itself. Okay, it says pull. Oh, hang on. Tape. Let's get a knife. Always bring a knife. Okay, let's cut that. There we go. Okay, instruction manual. So we've got USB-A to USB-C connection. We've got USB-A to USB-C 90-degree connection. And we've got a USB-A to USB-C, which looks like a shorter lead. Then we've got the Allen key and cable ties. And then here is the mount. A little bit of weight to it. Quality feels really good. So what we'll do, we'll crack on with the wire tuck. We'll show you the video along the way, and we will be incorporating this as we go. So I'm going to free up some of these wires because we want to get it nice and tight and neat. Also, we're going to be doing coil relocation. So as for the coil relocation, obviously we've removed the old coil from the bike whilst getting rid of all the plastic. Obviously that's the main plug that plugs into the back of it. Just lift the clip and pull it off. So here's the old leads. We're no longer in need of them, so we can just remove them like so. I've gone on eBay and I found a guy, well, both are from the UK. I found this guy who has been manufacturing and selling these brackets. Here he is on eBay. And then the spark leads, again, it's a guy I found on eBay here. They supply these in different colours. They are primarily just the main colours that you can get. Red, blue, bright green, I think there's yellow, orange. Obviously, because my bike's got the red theme on it, I've gone with the red sport leads. So yeah, in the process of doing the rewiring, we will be relocating the coil to the side here. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So this is 25 feet of 3/4 inch PET expandable braid sleeving. I ordered this off Amazon. Here's the link here. Doesn't cost very much. This stuff's great because it withstands high temperatures. It stops damage to cabling, and it allows you to expand it to get it over the cabling, and then you pull it tight again to bring everything nice and neat. So we're going to be using this on some sections of the wiring. We'll be using black insulation tape on other bits, which is here. So yeah, here we go. Whoops. Maybe I'd recommend placing a cloth over the tank when you're doing this. Never even thought. Don't want to damage your paintwork as we're doing it. I'll place that cloth over there. Okay, so again, this is where a quad lock is so adaptable. You can get different coloured ones of these tabs, red, blue. If they come with a blue, I decided I wanted black. But yeah, the fully adjustable angle, you know, whichever way you want them. Obviously, we're going to leave the vibration amount on this now. So here's the quad lock wireless adapter. Take the cover off it. Okay, so we've got a front plate, and we have a longer screw. Kindly, they already put a little bit of Loctite on it for us. So connections on the back there. What I'm going to do is place the screw in, and we're going to mount it right there. Now, I'm only going to finger tighten it up for now, just primarily so I know a rough idea of the position. What we don't want to do is have the phone hitting the tank, so it may be that I have to adjust the main bracket up slightly or angle things, but this is primarily, like I said, just to get the mains cable where we want it to go. Okay, so we're not going to be feeding this through the handlebar. There's too many cables in there anyway, so what we're going to do, because of the position that the bracket's mounted in, luckily we can have it coming back at the back of the actual mount. We can zip tie it just down towards the bottom of the handlebars, which should make it pretty inconspicuous. We're going to use the 90-degree bend to make it tuck in nicely. Now then, okay, let's show you. Now I'm having second thoughts about the 90-degree bend just because of the position where it comes off. I think if I turn it around the other way, it's going to hit the actual vibration mount. So it may be that the directly straight out connection might be better. So let's disconnect that wire, which is a little difficult because it's got a nice waterproof connection around it. So we like that. Let's have a look. Okay. So here's the straight connector lead. Let's have a look how well that fits coming out the back. Okay, yeah. So that connection's way better. As you can see, it's coming directly straight out the back here, which means we can tuck the cable in nice with a couple of cable ties and get it coming down the bar, and then we can feed it in to where our wiring loom is going in underneath the bike. Okay, so that was fun, that's all I will say. Doing a cable tuck, cable tidy, it's very fiddly, very fiddly. So we've got all the cables tucked up here. They're mainly on the right hand side, but yeah, they're nice and neat. There's a few bits I need to tidy up, but that I'll do along the way. So yeah, we've got that done now. So the connection for the coil is here now, in the middle, ready to go. 2 bolts, I've replaced these previously. What I've done is I've started doing blackout bolts on all the bike, getting rid of all the old silver stainless ones. I have been using I've been using blue Loctite, but with the constant heat, no heat, the 2 bolts here, they were pretty well stuck in. So I've ended up running the engine for a while, warm the engine up, get a bit of heat on it. Got the Allen key on. Always make sure you use the right size. You don't want to strip those insides of the bolt heads. Got a good Allen key, good bit of leverage on it, and finally they've cracked and come off. So not come off, but they've released. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get the coil relocation bracket fit along with the coils, and then after that it's going to be a case of starting to tidy up some of the wiring that we've taken apart, and hopefully we won't be far off getting things back together and giving it a bit of a test run. So existing bolts with the bracket from the old one. Somebody having a bit of a argument across the road. Okay, so let's get these bolts off the engine now. Still a little bit on the stiff side. There we go, that's the bolts off. And let's see, we shall plug the coil in, sort the wiring out shortly, and that is where it's going to sit. So let's get these bolts back in. Again, only needs to be a smidgen, just a little bit, not too much, otherwise they're not coming back off. Okay, so we'll get these bolts into place, we'll get it tightened up, and I'll be right back. So next we are going to fit the no we're not, we are going to clean the Loctite off my pliers for a start. Look after your tools and they'll look after you. So spark leads, let's get that cable tie off there. So, these should fit nicely, just like so. Look at that, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's crazy how something so simple can be so satisfying. I'm really impressed with that. Okay, so I've done a little bit of tidying up underneath the seat. I've come to a conclusion for now. I can't see anywhere on the bike where I'd physically want to mount that switch. See, the possibility it could be mounted on there, but the point is to get things sort of out of view. So I think what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to mount it underneath the seat. I'm going to test it, I'm going to see how things go with it. If it comes down to it, I can always take it back apart and make adjustments. So we've got the waterproof cover. That's going to go over the USB plug coming from the charging head. Plug that into the adapter, which I stood on a short while ago. And then we're going to push the rubber cover back over. So, quality-wise, brilliant. Can't fault the quality build on it. So we'll trim the cable tie off. And then we shall see if we can create a little bit of organised chaos under the seats. Let's make it fit. Before I do, might be worthwhile turning it to auto. So there we have it. Job done, I think. So we've got everything back together. Seats back on, wiring's tidy underneath, side bags back on, spark cables are now attached. The only thing is to plug in the quad lock. Just quickly before I start her up, I'm just going to cable tie the cable out of the way so it's nice and neat. And check that none of the cables are chafing or rubbing or trapped anywhere before anything else. And then after that, it's just a case of taking it for a trial ride. Let's give it a fire up and see how things go. So it's a week later from the work you've just seen done on the bike. Due to time constraints, I managed to get all the reassembling of the bike done with the quad lock mounted and the quad lock connected up. Unfortunately, couldn't get the quad lock to charge. What I did was I cut a little bit of a corner, and one of the wires coming from the battery to the smart adapter for the wireless charger, it did have an inline fuse in it. It was very low rated and appeared to have popped. I don't think it was for any major reason other than underrated. So the battery connector that came with the quad lock itself, I have now wired that properly up to the battery. I've tested it beforehand and all is now working. So rather than having it in the permanently on setting and risking the drain of the battery, I've put it onto the smart auto setting. So it will now only charge the phone when the engine's running. Excuse the noise that's about to come, but here's a little demonstration. Okay, so as you can see, phone is on and not currently charging. Now, if we start the ignition,